Oh my gosh, I am so freaking nervous. Hey guys, I am going to do something that I'm still not sure it's a good idea. I mean, I guess by the end of this video we will all have decided whether I should have gone through with this or not, but by then it will be too late, and so grant me the strength to live with the consequences of my decisions. You might recall that a few weeks ago I did an unboxing video where I showed you the very intricate system that I'm planning to implement for 2021 as far as my planner setup. In case you missed that video, I'll post a link to it up here in the corner. But essentially, I ordered a daily duo set. So it's a daily planner which comes in 2 books because it would have been too many pages for just one coil. And I also ordered a colorful vertical setup, which is the same kind of setup that I've used for years. It's the same kind I've been using this year. If you want to check out any one of my Plan With Me's, you'll see what that's like. Or like I said, you can watch that unboxing video I just mentioned, and I do a full flip through of all of these books, so you can see what they look like inside. In that video though, I mentioned that I don't want to have to walk around with 3 books or even 2 books at any given time. It would be much more convenient for me if the weekly spreads and the daily spreads were all in one spot. So my big plan is that I want to uncoil my books, which is not a rare or uncommon thing. Loads of people do this. I've just never done it before. And kind of reposition, restack the pages, if you will, so that instead of a year in this book, and then alternately 6 months here and 6 months here, each of these 3 books would have 4 months in them, and those 4 months would consist of monthly views, weekly views, and daily views. In all of January through April, for example, I only would need this one book. Then for May through August, I would just need this one. September through December, just this one, theoretically, right? And I did not choose this cover, nor is it personalized, but I figure that when the time comes to use this book, I can rip off one of these covers and replace it, and then just put this one on whichever one is already complete. But after watching loads of tutorials, at least I have a plan. At least I know in theory what I'm supposed to do. I'm not particularly confident in my ability to do it, but that's what the plan is. That's what the plan has been. So I kind of have to go through with it now, right? That being said, do not take this as a tutorial. I do not know what I'm doing. I'm basically going to show you guys the process, and in the meantime tell you what it is that I'm supposed to be doing based on what I learned from these tutorials. If it turns out well, then great. If it doesn't turn out well, then consider this a do as I say, not as I do, learn from my mistakes type video. But there are plenty of actual legitimate tutorials out there from people that have done this in the past and know what they're doing. So if that's what you're looking for, maybe stick around for the entertainment value, but don't think of this so much as an educational video. Anyways, I guess let's get started. So the very first thing, I'm gonna work with 2 books at a time. So for right now, I'm gonna work on the full year because I need to, otherwise I don't have anything to mesh. And the first 6 months of my daily duo, I'm going to take off the bookmarks because for right now they're just going to be in the way. So every tutorial that I came across told me that I needed pliers so that I could straighten out the coils. Some of them said to wrap this part of the pliers, like the actual part, with washi tape so that you don't damage the coil any more than you need to. But I'm planning to just uncoil the bottom down here, and I really don't care what that looks like at the end of the day, so that's fine. They also said you should get binder clips, biggest ones you could find. I legit just have 1 big one and then 3 smaller ones, but it's what I've got to work with, so that's what's gonna have to be. And the reason you want these is so that your paper stays in place while you're uncoiling, so that once it is uncoiled, everything is still exactly where you want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. See, this was the perfect size for this. I don't think these guys are gonna grip around. Nope, they're really not. Crap. Okay, well then that's gonna have to just be the one for this guy. And then I don't know if this is less paper or not. I really don't think it is, So let's try all the same. No, that's not gonna wrap around. But you know what? That's fine, because look what I'm gonna do. I want to use through April. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna use another one for the rest of the book, because this is actually gonna go on a different coil. And again, the only reason that you wanna do this is so that this stack of pages stays exactly aligned like this when you take the coil off. So, do I want to just take off the covers now? I think I might, because I don't recall if the tutorials said to, but I figure the farther these are from the pliers, the better, so that we don't even risk damaging them. So I'm just going to take these off. So here's my vertical. Here is my Daily Duo January through June. And the very first order of business before we do anything else is removing the coil. So you could see right here, this is the bottom. And they suggested you do the bottom so that if you screw up, the top still looks nice, which is what most people look at anyways. You won't even, hopefully, notice too much if the bottom is messed up. And in theory, again, none of this is proven until I've gone through with it, but in theory, based on what I've seen, all I need to do is straighten this bit out that's kind of bent into itself here, and then this whole thing, by spinning it, should just do and pop right off. Sounds super easy, and they made it look super easy, but I'm like the least handy person on the planet. So this is one of those deals where it's like, if I can do it, anyone can. And I mean that very, very literally. Okay, so it's already kind of not straight, and I also definitely made it ugly. So I see why some people were like, hey, you might want to cover up your pliers. But you see, it's like, it's just not coiled into itself anymore. So again, in theory, I should be able to twist. Oh, I still kind of, oh man, they were saying I didn't need to do this, but let me just try to move it out of the way. Oh, no, I think I might need to straighten out the top one too, which I didn't want to have to do. But that's fine. I'm just going to do it a little bit, just enough to give me, oh, I'm going the wrong way. That's why it's not working. See, but it's already stuck. Okay, look, no problem. Hey, guys, I'm uncoiling. See, you want this as in line with the coil as possible so that it doesn't drag on the paper like this one is doing. Let me see if I straighten this just a bit more. I don't know if I made that better or worse just then. We're trying, guys, we're trying. To think I only have to do this exact thing twice more. And then the hard part, I think, this is actually the easiest part probably. See, and then now the pages down here are starting to try to separate, which is why ideally you'd have two of these big guys so that something else will be clamping it down here. See how this is sticking out? The more that sticks out, the likelier that you're going to damage your paper. So I'm already not doing this in the ideal fashion, which is why I don't want you guys necessarily learning from me how to do this, because I do not want to be held responsible for whatever happens to your paper or your planners. So I'm going to remove this. Notice I didn't clip this folder in, and that's because I'm probably not going to use it, to be honest. So I'm okay with this not being part of the final book. I'm going to set this aside along with its coil, and I'm going to do the exact same thing now with this guy. I may or may not do the third book today. And I may or may not show it to you guys, because the fact is that this is probably going to be a very tedious project, and I'm sure you guys don't need to see me do the exact same thing 3 times in a row, but I will show you the finished product of all 3 once they're all completed. So that being said, let's go ahead and straighten out this coil. In theory, again, I'm saying that a lot, but hopefully this one is easier than the last, because I'm experienced now, right? So let's just give it a little test real quick. That's right, I gotta do this as well. Let's try to twist, 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 twist. This one's just refusing to come through. What the heck? Let me bring it back before I hurt something. Okay, so I obviously did not straighten that one enough. Let me go ahead and try. Yikes. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I take it back. The second one is definitely not easier than the first, and I'm not sure why. I seem to have straightened it too much, so it's not following the curve of the coil anymore. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. And that actually is much easier now. So it's just a matter of like just continuing to mess with how straight or curved or not that bottom bit of the coil is to help it ease through the holes in the paper. But this is already going much faster than the first one went. All right, once again, second book, coil is out. And so now the not hardest job, I think it's gonna just be one of those things that every step gets progressively harder. This was the easiest bit, believe it or not. Next, I have to take these binder clips off, which, that's right, I forgot that I had two parts to this. So I'm gonna set this aside for now because this is actually gonna go in book 2. And right now I wanna concentrate on putting together and coiling book 1. So now I'm gonna take all of this. I'm going to, I guess, separate from here. I know that I definitely want January through April. So let's stop right here at May. Ta-da! This is going to be set aside because these are going to go into books 2 and 3 respectively. Boom. And then this is already separated January through April because I did that before I uncoiled it. So I guess I don't want this page because this says January through June and that is not correct. Then again, neither is vertical layout, but that's fine. So, okay, let's go through the duplicates, I guess, and decide what I do and don't want, and then start stacking the pages in the order that I want them to end up. Once that happens, I can clip what's going to be book 1 together so that all of these line up as well as possible. And that's when the hard part begins, which is recoiling it into a brand new book. So I've got the monthly here, and next comes all of the weeklies. And I think the easiest thing, because they print back to back, because ideally I would have loved to have this week and then turn the page and here's all the dailies from that week, but obviously that can't happen because it goes from one week right into the next. So I'm going to do all of January, and then I'm going to open here. I don't need the monthly, and it so happens that the monthly finishes there. So this I'm not going to use. I'm going to set this aside. But I am going to grab all this, which is just the January dailies, including this little note page here. Boom. That's January, you see? So now next, February. I'm going to take the monthly and the dashboard here from February, all of the weeklies that pertain to it, and then right here, take this, keep the dashboard only because it's part of February 1st here, so this is going to get put away. Boom, there's February, and so on. So right here, this is book 1 of my 2020 planner. This is going to be January through April. I won't do a flip through just yet because I don't want to misalign or unalign the paper. As a matter of fact, let me real quick, I'm gonna use this big one that I have taking care of my vertical for now because I want as much security as possible with the book that I'm about to recoil. And something else that's kind of cool is that I usually buy a monthly deluxe planner, and that's literally just a monthly view with a bunch of notes pages. I buy one of those every year because I use that as like a budget / bill reminder, etc. type book. Like all my finances for the year are in that book. But now that I have all these extra monthlies, that I'm not gonna use, I could either coil these again with an old coil, or I could punch holes in them and put them in a binder, whatever. But this I can essentially use for my budgeting. It's got a note page, but I don't really use too much more than that anyways. And I can schedule all my bills right there. So I'm actually getting a bill planner and the Daily Duo and the vertical all in one without even thinking about it. I didn't consider this, but this is a great bonus. Okay, so I should probably leaf through this just to be absolutely certain. But you know what? If I screwed something up, then that's just adding character, right? So this is the top of the coil. This is the bottom that I straightened. And here comes the very hard part, I think, because now I have to not just tug this out, but rather align everything to get it to coil back in and not miss a beat. Oh wow, okay, so I did that. There's number one. And now I just gotta go all the way down, and I might have the first of my 3 or maybe even 4 planners for 2021 ready to go. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so now this top one, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just twist it back into position like it was-ish. This bottom one, same. I'm gonna do my best to just kind of, I don't want to screw up the rest of the coils too much, but I do want to just kind of just do that so that the pages don't come off. And hopefully everything works fine and everything will flip fine, sort of. Gotta work on that a little bit, I guess. But there you go. So here's the flip through for the first book. There's the month. There's the dashboard. Don't worry, guys. I'll fix this. I just don't want to screw with it too much right now. Everybody's had a traumatizing time, and I don't want to, well, I guess while I'm already here is when I should do it, right? So let's get this guy back like that so that this lays a little flatter. Yeah, and let me go ahead and put the cover on it too while we're here. So this will be this book. And you noticed also probably that I removed all of the superfluous 2021 kind of dashboard stuff at the front. Those extra like 3 pages actually made a big difference in the coil getting around or not. Some tutorials that I saw did suggest that you do this with an 18-month coil, but I didn't buy an 18-month planner this time around, and I usually don't buy 18-month planners. I might have had one that I could have recycled, but then I would have left that older book without a coil, and I'm not trying to do that either. I like keeping all of my older books so that I can look back on them. I kind of keep them as, you know, like scrapbooks. If you've watched any of my plan with me's or my planner flip throughs, you already know that about me. But there you go. We've got a cover, we've got a coil, we've got pages. That sounds to me like all you need for a planner, right? So once again, let's try this. Here's the month. You flip, you got a dashboard and a note page. You flip again, we've got our weeklies. And these I can use to decorate, kind of do general guideline type stuff, etc. Then boom, another dashboard. I'll use this maybe for other things, like maybe one will be for video ideas and this one will be for birthdays, or who knows. I have all year to decide what I want to do. But then you flip that page and here's our dailies. So all of January 2021 is right here. And then February the same, March the same, April the same. This is a full book, but it's the only thing I have to walk around with for 4 months. And then the plan is that I'll have another one, like I said, for May through August, and a third one for September through December. I got a lot more uncoiling and recoiling to do, it seems, but undeniably, I did it. At least for one, I did it. I'm very excited. I'm very proud of myself. That was scary. I've been putting it off for a really long time. I've been dreading it. I was sure it was going to go poorly. And I mean, did it go as smoothly as one could have hoped? No. I'm not even going to pretend and say yes, because no, it really didn't. But at the end of the day, it's exactly what I expected it to look like. It's exactly what I hoped for, which is all of my to-do lists now, my detailed plans, and my decorative stickers, memory keeping type stuff are all going to be in one place. And that's exactly what the goal was. So all in all, I'm very happy that this turned out the way it did. Will I do it again next year? Who knows? Maybe next year I'll have moved on to a different company, hopefully, and other companies will see the need and they'll start doing kind of weekly dailies together in one like this. If you know of one that already does this sort of thing without me having to perform planner surgery, let me know in the comments, because 2022 is just around the corner, am I right? But yeah, that is my very first time creating a FrankenPlanner. If you enjoyed watching me squirm, I hope you'll please give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you're doing for 2021 for your planner setup. I'd also love it if you'd subscribe and click that notification bell, because I post at least 3 times a week. Once a week I post a plan with me every single Monday, and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. Bye!